Hello all, welcome to my kitchen where we'll be creating this delightful treat, an eggless plum cake that is both moist and bursting with rich flavors. And so let's get started. So for this I have taken cardamom, clove, cinnamon and powdered it, and into this I'm adding orange juice. So this method I'm using just to make one batch of it. If you're not doing it immediately, you can add the spices powder at the end. So now I've added cherries which were chopped into smaller bits, and into this I'm adding tutti frutti. Together it is about 50 grams. You can add more if you want to, but I think this was good for the quantity that I'm preparing. Into this we'll also be adding the other dry fruits like cashews, badam and raisins. You can also add cranberries. I'm also adding kimia dates here to get extra flavor. In case you have any exotic nuts, you can also add that, but this would go with what we have eaten and tasted in our Indian bakeries and that we love. I just love this plum cake and I definitely will prepare this every year during this season. Also because it's winter and there is a nice winter season going on, and also a lot of celebrations, vacations, and also there are birthday months. We have birthdays in this month, December, so this is something which is always special. So I have also shared an old recipe in my channel. You can check that. This is slightly different where I'm using orange juice, and this is equally flavorful. So we'll give a good mix and allow this to settle. Ideally it has to be kept for about 24 hours. You can cover the vessel and keep it in the refrigerator so that the orange juice is completely soaked by all the nuts that are tutti frutti and the dry fruits that we have just added. Only then that we can get that richness. At least 8 hours is definitely necessary. So to get that caramel flavor and the color to the plum cake, we are taking sugar. We are going to use the caramelized sugar to prepare this cake. Last time it was a little different. You can also check it. I will definitely leave the link here. So we'll just allow the sugar to melt on itself. Ideally the mixing also is not necessary, but just I was using a thin bottom pan, so I was just using this spatula to mix it. Now you can see this is the consistency we want. We can allow it to completely caramelize, and please do remember that at this point it's extremely hot, so you have to be very careful when you're dealing with this. And now you can see that it has slowly started coming out, the bubbles. Once the bubbles are settled, you know that it is ready. At this point you can also add jaggery to get extra color and to have a little flowy consistency, but I have skipped that, and the sugar itself will suffice is what I feel. So now we'll start mixing the ingredients. For this I'm taking about 1 cup of sugar. I leave the detailed recipe also in the description, so definitely check it out. I am using half of the measurements, so the measurements I would say is not full measurement, so I have used again. You can also use a mixture of butter and refined oil, or just use refined oil. And into this we'll start mixing. So the sugar is completely mixed and we don't want granular sugar. So this is a process that you will enjoy, and ideally baking is something which is very therapeutic, and we can use these processes just to calm your mind. And when you are really free or having a busy day, you can definitely turn to baking. That is what I do. I had packed my oven and it was up in my attic, but then I got it down, and this is what I'm trying to do and enjoy. I'm sure I'll have a lot of better recipes lined up for you, so don't forget to subscribe and comment and watch all my videos. Now for the flavor I have added vanilla, or you can also add mixed fruit essence. Vanilla is ideally preferred and generally what is used, so you can use about a teaspoon of that. Now what we want to add is the rind of lemon. So we'll take a lemon and start just taking the yellow part of it. We'll just grate it into the wet mixture, and I'm also using ginger here. You can also use ginger powder, but I have fresh ginger and I'm going to use the small batch, and it is going to be empty very soon. I know that. If you want to store it for a long time, you can go for dry ginger. You can also use the orange zest here. but I did not have it, so I have just skipped. But adding that also will amp up the flavor, since we are also using the orange juice. If you don't have, you can skip it. So now I'm going to add the liquid mixture that we just prepared. This has to be added. You can cool it, but if you cool, the sugar syrup is going to be hardened, so you have to again add little water and make a little watery mixture and then add, otherwise mixing is a problem. So that is one thing that you have to keep in mind. So now I have added directly into the mixing bowl. I'm adding the dry ingredient, that is I have taken 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Into it I have also added baking soda and baking powder. The quantities will be mentioned in the description box, so please don't forget to check it. Now I'm adding the soaked and the dry fruits that are soaked in the orange juice. So ideally you can strain it, but I'm using a spatula just to separate the juice from all the tutti frutti nuts that we have just added. Don't discard the orange juice, you can keep it. We are going to use some portion of it. If you add the whole lot of orange juice, the cake is going to be really gooey in the center, which we don't want. We want spongy cake, so we'll not add the whole bit of orange juice here, but about 2 to 3 tablespoons, just to get the consistency right for the cake. And to also top up the consistency, we can either use curd or milk. Like I said, I'm just adding about 1 spoon of orange juice here, and further to adjust the consistency, I'll be adding milk. So do let me know in the comment section if you really enjoy watching my videos. And I'm again back with a lot of videos which are lined up for you for the season, and also many fashion videos coming up. So let me know how you are liking it. This recipe can also be made using condensed. So now that we have the right consistency, we will take the pre-prepared baking tray. That is, I have greased it and lined it up with a paper. You can use butter paper or normal white paper also will do. So we'll allow the air to escape and gently settle the mixture here. Tap it gently to counter the release of any bubbles. And now you can garnish it. So how you want the outer surface or the upper part to be seen or presented, you can just garnish it using any of the dry fruits, tutti frutti, etc. Just like as I'm doing. And before at this step, you should also preheat your oven at 100 degrees. You should always bake your cakes in preheated oven, so the cakes will come out really nice and fluffy. So once it is ready, I'm just allowing these nuts to settle in, and in goes into the preheated oven. So this is my small oven, and this is what I've been using for some time now, about 3 years, I think more than 3 years, and it's working fine. Of course, I use it mostly for baking cakes and cookies. So this is how it is. I have just adjusted the temperature to 180 degree, and I'll allow it to cook for about 40 to 45 minutes, and then we can see a yummy a fluffy cake that is ready. The tip here follows: allow the cake to completely cool down, only then you demold it, then you'll have a really nice and clean cake coming out. So this is the final look, and as the cake bakes, your kitchen will be filled with delightful aroma, and this is done. Wait to cool down before slicing, and you have your yummy sumptuous cake ready. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like it and share it, and don't forget to leave your comments.